Albany's rock station, Q103. What's up? It is Candace. Very thankful today to have on the phone the frontman of the Dead Daisies, John Corabi. John, thank you so much for taking a couple minutes to holler into the show today.
No worries.
So you have been pretty busy recently. First of all, congratulations on the new album, Burn It Down.
Thank you.
Fun, killer record. I got to tell you, Dead of God kind of speaks to my soul on a personal level, you know? I want to live my life and do what I want. How did society get to the point where they get to have a say in everything that we do?
It's funny. A lot of, obviously they ask us what the lyrics mean on a lot of the songs. And I'm like, Dead and Gone's pretty simple, man. It's just, I just want to get up. I want to go through the day. I want to enjoy myself. I don't want to hurt anybody. I don't want to hurt myself. I just want to have fun and do my thing. So just get out of my face and leave me alone. It's just a fun song.
Oh, super fun. You guys have a lot of really fun songs on the record and throughout your entire catalog. A couple of songs on the new record really just kind of have been resonating a lot. And most of the songs are a lot of fun. They are like, rock and roll through and just want to get you up and moving. Rise Up, however, kind of takes a little bit of a political turn. Do you feel like you guys were kind of heading in that direction with that one?
Well, it's weird for me as a lyricist. I don't really even think about the song until we get it mapped out. And then you kind of listen to it. And I think with anybody, like if you hear a song, like it gives you just the music itself kind of lends a vibe to what you're hearing. And we thought that, after listening to the music for Rise Up, it's pretty aggressive.
Right.
And it just happened that, we were listening to the song. I tucked myself away into a room. I was listening to everything, and I was kind of noodling around on Facebook, and I was looking at some of the comments, and it's especially in America, people have become so divided on everything,
yeah.
whether it's racial issues, equality for women, it's just everything, whether you voted for Trump or you didn't. I was really getting angry because we've gotten to a point where if people have an opinion about something, if you just remotely disagree with them, you're a moron. You're an idiot. You're a whatever, libtard, you're a whatever. And I was just getting angry because I'm like, I don't understand, especially with politics, why people are arguing with each other. And basically, the song to me is just like, hey, man, let's stop arguing with each other and together as a united front start holding all of the politicians, whether it's liberal or conservative, hold them all accountable for a lot of the things that are happening to all of us. We need to start, stop arguing. And, so I just put it down, and I'm really not taking, I'm not taking a shot at anybody's political viewpoints, because personally I don't care. You know what I mean?
Right.
It's just like, but we, need to be together and united and hold these people accountable. They're basically controlling and running our lives for us, so we need to hold them accountable and stop arguing with each other, period.
Right, and people are so hurtful nowadays, it's not like they just can't be like,
it's ridiculous. It's ridiculous. I don't get it, you know what I mean? I really don't. And the thing, I won't take too much of your time, but I was just talking to somebody not that long ago. I was doing another interview, and I said, if you took any super conservative person and super liberal person and put them in a room together and said, okay, now let's take the morality things out of the equation, because that's like church stuff, like gay marriage and abortion, and you take all that off the table. Now let's just talk about government, politics, things. And you said that if you said to those two people, what do you want out of life? I think they would say the same thing. They want to be able to afford health care. They want to take care of their families. They'd like to buy a nice little home and, tuck some money away for a rainy day or for when they retire. I think everybody's pretty simple for the most part. So we're not that different from each other. So stop arguing with each other.
I agree. Stop arguing with each other. Buy an album. Listen to some music. Let's be a little nicer to each other. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Yes.
Also, let's go to a rock show. I feel like live music always brings people together, and we're very fortunate enough to have the Dead Daisies coming to the Capital Region next weekend. You guys are going to be playing at the Upstate Concert Hall on the 1st of September. We're super pumped for this show. I hear that your live show is like something to behold. You guys have been on the road, right? Just played a bunch of shows in the UK and in Japan, and you guys are coming back to the States. How is it different, the audience-wise, from overseas as to here in America?
I think, overall, I think, I think for whatever the reasons are, who knows, but we've kind of caught on more everywhere else. America's a little slower coming to the table, but we have great fans here nonetheless. Not as many, but it's growing. And the more we play here, hopefully the bigger it's going to get. But now it's gotten to the point now we're in Europe, we're doing festivals for, 60, 70, 100,000 people, like all over the world. So it's, everything in due time. It's coming together, but we're excited to be home, man. This band started originally as an Australian band, but some of the members have left, and we've added American guys, and now it's 4 Americans and an Australian. So we're an American band, and we want to be able to play at home and do just as well. So it's happening.
The Daisies are kind of a unique band because you guys have had a kind of a rotating roster of musicians in there. Like you just said, you started as an Australian band, now you're kind of an American band. Has that always kind of been the game plan, is to kind of switch it up here and there, or do you guys plan on like this is kind of static from now on, or?
No, in all honesty, if you talk to David, he's the founding member of the band, our guitar player. Mm-hmm. And I think he's always wanted a band, a steady, band that was moving forward. And, the way he did this, it was, for a lack of a better term, it was a bit ass backwards. He started this thing with a guy named John Stevens, who is an amazing singer-songwriter who actually replaced Michael Hutchins in Excess after he passed away.
Right.
So, you have two somewhat famous guys from Australia together in Australia. They put the band together, or actually they wrote the songs and recorded an album first, and then they tried to put a band together to go out and tour. And some of the members were like, "Oh God, I'm doing this now, but like I'm only going to be able to do this for 5 months because I've got other prior commitments." And so when I say it changed, it was some of the members just kind of fell along the wayside due to scheduling conflicts, or they already had a solo career, you know what I mean? And it just kind of worked out the way it worked out. But David's always wanted a band, so now we've got a pretty strong lineup. It's pretty steady. Marco, David, and I have been involved in this thing for 4 years now. Doug Aldridge came in about 3 years ago. He's been here, and Dean Castronovo's kind of the new guy. He just came in last November.
Wow.
So
yeah, you guys have all worked with some pretty notable bands throughout your careers and have come together. Like how did you guys get all together? Like how did you find each other to finally fit the pieces together?
As large as the music industry is, it's that small.
Yeah.
I've known Doug Aldridge. Doug and I grew up in Philadelphia. So I've known Doug since he was 15 or 16 years old. But we never had the opportunity to play together. We've always been friends.
That's crazy.
I've known Marco for 20-plus years, just from in passing, like, "Oh, hey, dude, how you doing? What's going on? How's the family?" Good, And so we've all kind of known each other, for 20-plus years, being in the business. And, now, like, this opportunity was handed to us, by David Lowy, and he said, "Hey, let's do this thing." And I'm like, well, at the time, there was Dizzy Reed and Richard Fortas were in the band, and I knew those guys as well. So I was like, oh, man, this band is amazing on paper. Like, this is going to be really cool. So I joined, and obviously Dizzy and Richard had to go back to Guns N' Roses. But we've just known each other forever. So when you look at the band on paper, you go, okay, Dean from Journey and Bad English, and Marco from Ted Nugent and Whitesnake, and Doug Aldrich from Whitesnake, and David Lowy from the Angels and Red Phoenix, and wow. Yeah, I'll do
right?
this. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So
that's awesome. So you had mentioned Dizzy Reed a couple minutes ago. So he was in the band, but now he's touring with you with his other side project, Hookers and Blow. Do you guys kind of have like a reunion thing on stage? Do you do a little collab or crossover?
Yeah, it's crazy. Just for me, like I said, Dizzy was in the Dead Daisies with us for a while.
Right.
But I've known Dizzy when I first moved to California, 30 years ago, I met Dizzy then. And we just did a show with Guns N' Roses in Europe, a couple shows in over there. So, but Dizzy, it's hilarious. I've known Dizzy. Robbie Crane, his bass player, was in Rat. So him and I were in Rat together for like 8 years. And then Johnny Kelly, the drummer, he's in Danzig now, but he was in Typo Negative. Typo Negative opened for Motley when I was the lead singer in Motley. So it's like I said, it's a huge business, but it's very, very small.
That's so crazy. We can't wait to see the show, of course. The Dead Daisies, Hookers and Blow, going to be at Upstate Concert Hall on the 1st of September. I don't want to take up too much more of your time, but before I let you go, let me ask you a little bit about Daisyland. You guys have been curating these unique experiences for your fans. Tell me why this is something that you guys are working on, and tell us a little bit more about what the fans here in the Capital Region can get in on before the show.
Well, we've been doing the Daisyland thing. It's just our way of saying thank you. Like I said, our fans are just insane in a good way. And, they've been starting all these other little fan clubs up and different things like that. So Daisyland is just a way for us to go and say thank you. And so what we do is we've been going to guitar centers every show day, or a little earlier in the day, and we go to the Guitar Center and we just kind of hang and mingle with the fans for a little bit. We take photos, we sign stuff that they have, and then we do like a maybe 5-6 song acoustic set for them.
That's awesome. And it's free, right?
Hang out. Yep.
You don't even charge your fans at all. That is such an amazing thing for a band to do. It's something that you don't see too often nowadays. A lot of bands are charging high dollars for experiences like that. And I think that's something really cool that you guys are providing to your fans.
It's funny, David, he's got a different angle and a viewpoint on it. He said to each his own, like a lot of bands are doing the meet and greets, they're charging for them. But he said, I never understood the concept. The band wants their fans to come and see them play. I go, yes. He said, why would you charge them to buy a record? Then they have to buy a ticket. They have to pay money for gas. They pay money for drinks, possibly buy a T-shirt, hopefully.
Right.
The CD, all this stuff. And then you charge them to come in the line and take a photo with you so you can say thank you to them.
Yeah.
That makes no sense to me.
Yeah, I get it.
So everything we do is totally free. We actually give them stuff. So when they come to the Daisyland at the Guitar Center, we give them a poster and we sign it. And then even after that, at the end of the night, we do a signing for the first 50 or so people that come in the door. Like the first 50, we can't do everybody, but
right.
The first 50 that come in the door, they line up, they get in a queue. We give them a little wristband, and then they come and we'll give them like guitar picks, and they get a different poster, and we sign it. And we're like, hey, man, thanks for everything. We sign their records or whatever. So it's pretty awesome.
That is really cool. I think that's a really cool thing. Of course, if you would like to get in on the Daisyland experience here in the Capital Region before the show at Upstate Concert Hall on the 1st of September, that's going to be happening at the Guitar Center on Wolf Road. You can get the link to RSVP on our website, q103albany.com. If you need tickets to the show later on that night, those are there as well. We've got the Dead Daisies, Hookers and Blow, and our local boys, Frozen Sun, going to be opening up the whole show. So it should be an amazing night of rock and roll. John, thank you so much for giving us a few minutes today.
No worries. Thanks for having me.